Alright, hi everyone. Welcome to another Yoga for Athletes video. My name is Hales if we haven't met. Today we are getting all into the hamstrings, so the back of the thighs. We'll be taking you through about a 20-minute flow. All you're going to need is a yoga mat or a soft surface to practice on. You'll notice we're going to try out, I'm not going to play any music in the background when we're doing this, so I recommend opening up a second device, or if you're on your computer, opening up Spotify, popping on your favorite kind of 20-minute playlist, and we'll get into it. So we're going to get started in a downward facing dog shape. So basically an upside down V shape of the body. And so I want you pressing equally through both of your palms, and both of your feet, and then really lift that tailbone up as high as you can. So feel that length, that space down the hamstrings. And good. So from here, probably first hamstring opener of the day. So I want you to bend those knees as much as you need and come up onto those toes as much as you need. If you're already feeling a little bit more open, you can press the heels down a little bit more. Otherwise, just take a soft little bend through one knee, through the other. We're going to slowly start to warm it up, add in a little bit of movement, get the body a little bit warmer. We'll get into some specific active opening of those hamstrings and then slow it down with some stretches. So from here, you're going to start to shift that gaze forward. You're going to start to inch forward, walking those feet forward to meet the hands. When you get to the hands, you're going to come into a forward fold. So here I want you bending those knees as much as you need. We're not going to strain those hamstrings, so nice soft bend through the knee. A little bit of sway, maybe side to side. If your fingers aren't on the floor, no worries, you can hold on to opposite elbows. And good, just 2 more gentle breaths. Soft bend through those knees. And good, and then you're going to release those hands back down. Bend the knees as much as you need to get them there. Start to walk those feet all the way back into that downward facing dog. So just starting to create a little bit of space through the back of the body, back of the legs, with a little bit of movement. And take a nice big breath in here. Good, big breath out so you can ground down through those heels a little bit further. Nice, now from here you're going to slowly start to repeat that, start to walk those feet back forward to your forward fold. Good, when you arrive to your forward fold, maybe those fingertips are a little bit closer towards the floor. You start to find that little sway side to side, maybe a little bend and extend through one knee, through the other, just gentle opening through those hamstrings. And good, take those palms back down. You're going to start to walk those feet back to downward facing dog. Good, back in your downward facing dog, taking one more big breath in. Good, big breath out, maybe ground those heels down a little bit further. We'll do this one more time. So seeing if you can shorten up those steps, so finding a little bit more space in the hamstrings as you walk those feet forward. Good, again, maybe fingertips a little bit closer towards the floor. Take your little sway, your little bend, whatever it is that you need. Good, from here, 2 more breaths. Just gently getting into the back of the legs. Soft bend stays through the knees. We're never locking out the knees in any of this. And last big breath. And good, from here, you're going to slowly start to roll your way all the way up to stand. So you're going to come into a tall standing position. And good. So we're going to start to work a little bit through both of the hamstrings at the same time. So from here, you're going to start to put all of your weight into that left leg. You're going to get a little bit lighter onto those right toes. And good. Now from here, I want you thinking hinging from those hips like a deadlift type motion. You're going to start to let that right heel like a pendulum come straight back behind you. Soft little bend through that left knee. Bring your chest just as far forward as you can. Hands can be on your hips. That's a great place to make sure those hips stay square. Good, so a little bit of length through this hamstring, a little bit of length through the right hamstring. And good, take a nice big breath in here. And good, with your breath out, we're gonna come out of that extension in your back leg. You're gonna drive that knee up in towards your chest. And good, you're gonna repeat that. Slowly start to kick, kick, kick through that back heel. Really try and extend this back leg as much as you can. Maybe this left knee's a little bit straighter, opening up that space. If you wobble, come right back in. And good, one more time, drive that knee up towards the ceiling. Good, exhale, press that sole foot back, bring the chest down. Good, holding this time here, big breath in for 1. Good, if you come out, you come right back in, breath in for 2. Last time, big breath in. Big breath out, bring your right foot beside the left, and go ahead, shake out the leg, shake out the ankle. Good, from here, nice and slow, you're gonna fold your way back down into that forward fold, taking a moment to reset. If this feels like too much in the low back, you're just bending those knees a little bit more. So we're going to come into that little bit of stability work on the right leg. And basically, if you're new for yoga to athletes, we're always working on activating and finding stability as we're finding that flexibility, that stretch. And that's what makes it functional, and that's what's going to make it so effective. When you're ready, you're gonna slowly roll yourself right back up. And then we're gonna come into the other side. So ground down first, really equally pressing through the big toe, the heel, the pinky toe of that right foot, finding that strong foundation. You're gonna get lighter onto those left toes, and I want you to think about kicking that left foot straight back behind you, hinging from those hips like an elastic band, just pulling those hips backwards. Bring your chest as low towards the floor as you can. Good, take a big breath in. With your breath out, you're driving that left knee up towards the ceiling, so hamstring control on both sides. And good, nice and slow, you're gonna hinge back. Kick, kick, kick that left leg back, soft bend through the knee, only straightening that knee as far as feels comfortable. Good, again, exhale, drive that knee up towards the ceiling. So good, you guys, one more time, start to extend that leg back, chest down towards the floor. Good, this time we hold for 3 breaths. Can you kick, whoops, that floating leg a little bit straighter? Again, if you fall out, you come right back in, no worries. And good, now can you pull, actively lengthen that standing leg a little bit straighter? One more breath in. Good, one more breath out. You're gonna bring that left foot down beside the right. Go ahead, shake that out. And so good, let's take those arms all the way up overhead. Find a nice big stretch. Good, exhale, soft bend to the knees, take it forward. And good, you're gonna press down through those palms, start to walk your feet back. Downward facing dog. So a little pedal, a little bend. Maybe you notice a little bit of change has been created through the back of the legs already, just with a couple moves. All right, we're gonna start to work a little bit more of that control and then a little bit more of that flexibility. So we're gonna come into a 3-legged dog. This is one of my favorite places to work on opening the hamstrings. So you're gonna start to lift that right heel straight up towards the ceiling and keep those right toes facing down towards the floor. So here, yes, you're working on actively engaging your right quad, so the front of the thigh, to get this top leg a little bit straighter. But then you're also gonna feel a stretch down that standing leg, that left leg. So breathe into that stability here. Good, 2 more breaths. Nice, you guys, one more big inhale. With your exhale, you're gonna swing this right foot all the way forward between the hands. So we're gonna be in a runner's lunge. You've got your fingertips framing your front foot. From here, we're gonna add in a little bit of movement, getting a little bit more length, a little bit more heat building in the hamstring. So you're gonna take an inhale, you're gonna drop your hips, you're gonna lift your chest. Good, exhale, you're gonna try and pull those hips as high as you can up towards the ceiling. Length through the back of the leg. Knee might stay a little bit bent, that's totally fine. With your next breath in, you're coming into just a little bit of a hip release. Good, then exhale, maybe lift those hips up one entire towards the ceiling, let your chest go. We'll do this 2 more times. Take an inhale, glide forward. Good, exhale, pull it back. Really nice, you guys, one more time, take that inhale. So good, exhale, pull it back. And good, with your next breath, you're coming back forward to that lunge shape. You're gonna go ahead, you're gonna drop that back knee down. Walk your hands up, so you're gonna come into a lunge. So right foot forward, left foot back. And just take a moment here to kind of set your pelvis. So sometimes what happens is we start to shift, lifting that right hip higher, right hip more forward, any of those weird variations. Bring your hands into your hip bones, find a really neutral pelvis. When it comes to working on hamstring length, it's so important we try and keep that pelvis in a really strong neutral position. That's so we prevent overstretching or getting any of that irritation at the top part of the hamstring. And good, once you've got that neutral pelvis, you're gonna bring your hands down, framing your front foot. Good, keeping that neutral pelvis as much as you can. You're gonna pull, bringing those right toes straight up towards the ceiling. So in yoga, this is kind of a half split, but we're just gonna use it as a hamstring stretch. Now, instead of staying static, I really want you to think about pulling those toes back towards you as much as you can. And now you're gonna think about your foot being a windshield wiper. So you're gonna try and rotate from your entire hip, that big toe to come inwards. And good, you're gonna slowly bring it back through center. And I want you rotating that big toe outwards. And good, we're gonna cycle like this 5 times. I really want you going slow with control. And as you take that foot side to side, I want you to notice how maybe that stretch changes in the hamstring. So here we're stretching out the inner part, the outer part of the hamstring that we don't often get into quite as much. A lot of traditional hamstring stretching is right in that middle part, but oftentimes our strains or injuries happen in those other parts of the hamstring. And good, so stay here. You've got 1 more full cycle. Good. Finishing that, you're going to come back through center, so toes facing up towards the ceiling. From here, we're going to get into a little bit of IT bend where it meets the hamstring. Left fingertips are going to stay planted underneath your left shoulder. You're going to reach those right fingertips up towards the ceiling. So you're going to feel that outside of the right leg really fire up. If this is too much, you can always bring a block or a book or something underneath those left fingers just to give you a little bit more lift. Good. Even though we're making this a little bit more of a passive hold, just holding here, I still want you to really think about pulling those toes back towards you, tightening, squeezing that quad muscle. So you're still actively holding yourself here. That's it, guys. 2 more breaths, and then we'll do it on the other side. Good. 1 more inhale, and stay for the exhale. Next breath in, you're going to rotate from the chest. Fingertips are going to come down. You're going to walk yourself back forward into that lunge shape. And press down through the palms. Go ahead and lift up that back knee. We're going to step back to a downward facing dog. Now take a moment, a little pause here. Notice how that right hamstring, that back of the leg on the right, feels different to the left. Maybe it feels already a little bit more open. When you're ready, we're going to start to work into that left side. So you're going to start to find a 3-legged dog on the left. So sweep that left heel up towards the ceiling. Now I really want you squeezing that quad on the left side. Really try and straighten it out, straighten it out. Awesome job. Now ground down through that heel a little bit more. Try and lift that right leg a little bit straighter. Yes, you've got length happening in both hamstrings. So great in this position because you're working against gravity. A lot of times that's where we need our flexibility, is in active positions, right? Just really fight against that gravity, really try and straighten that leg a little bit more. And good, 1 more breath. And then you're going to take that left foot all the way forward between the hands. And good, you can take your time to get adjusted into that long runner's lunge shape, adding a little bit of movement to warm it up. And good, so you're going to take an inhale, you're going to start to drop down through the hips, lifting up through the chest. Nice, exhale, start to lift those hips up towards the ceiling, find as much length as you can through the hamstrings. 3 more like this, you guys take an inhale, drop the hips, lift the chest. Exhale, bring those hips up towards the ceiling. So good, 2 more, be nice and gentle with it. Inhale, drop the hips, lift the chest. And good, exhale, pull those hips up towards the ceiling. You're going to take 1 more full cycle, dropping those hips, lifting your chest. Then exhale, those hips go all the way up towards the ceiling. Good. And from here, you're going to start to come back forward through that runner's lunge. And then we're going to drop down that back knee. You're going to walk those hands up. We're going to come into that pelvis setting. So oftentimes we cheat ourselves in our hamstring stretches. We kind of lift a hip up, we turn a hip forward or back. So we're making sure that the core is a little bit on here for that stability. So for a lot of us, that means dropping your left hip down, picking up this right hip, and then pulling your left hip back, right hip more forward. So if I had my hands on your hip bones, they're super level, they're super equal. Good, now engage in your low belly or low core. You're going to keep the hips here. Start to bring those fingertips back forward. Good, keep engaging your low core, your pelvis. You're going to pull that left leg to straight and really actively pull that big toe towards you. So that half split position. You might feel it in the calf, you might feel a little bit more in the hamstring. You can play with the angle of where your fingers are to alter that stretch. Now here we're going to get into all 3 bellies of that hamstring muscle. So we're going to come into that windshield wiper of that left foot. So letting that left foot fall all the way inwards. And good, and then slowly you're going to take it all the way outwards. So bring in that mind to muscle connection. Really think about what's happening in that hamstring. Can you feel that slight change in the stretch as you rotate that foot inwards? Really nice as you rotate that foot outwards. Beautiful, excellent work, you guys. You're going to go 4 more times each way. And good, now I don't want to see your foot flopping around. I want you super strong. All of this mobility stuff is active. So you're always engaging a little bit of strength, a little bit of stability as you work on your mobility. Especially for you guys that are always complaining your hamstrings never get any looser. Oftentimes it's because you're not first finding that stability, so your body won't let you create that mobility. So that's why here we're always combining them. You're going to go 2 more cycles. Pull those toes back, find that biggest rotation you can. Good, last cycle here. Good, you're going to stop with that big toe back through center. Good, take a moment and readjust the pelvis. Some of us need to pull that left hip back a little bit more. Now keep those right fingertips grounded. You're going to twist from your core. Reach those left fingertips up towards the ceiling. So here you might start to feel a little bit through that outer thigh, maybe kind of that IT band area, or maybe just the outside of your hamstring. You're always going to feel that line of tension wherever you're tightest. Good, so nice big breaths here. I want you actively engaging your core to twist a little bit deeper. Keep actively pulling this leg to straight. Good, 3 more breaths, stay with me. Really good work so far, you guys, we're almost there. Good, take 1 more big inhale. Big full exhale. And good, slowly unravel, take those fingertips back down. You're gonna guide yourself back forward, bending through that left knee, press down through the palms. And pick up that back leg. You're gonna step your left foot back to meet the right, downward facing dog. Good, now take that little pedal, that little bend through the legs, notice how that feels. And then we're gonna recheck our forward fold 1 more time. So start to walk those feet all the way inwards, those hands in to meet them, so come into that forward fold. Now maybe your fingertips are a little bit further down towards the floor, maybe it's a little bit easier to straighten those knees. Good, so we're gonna add in 1 more little cycle of standing movement here, and then we're gonna hit the floor coming onto our back. So I want you to walk your feet about mat distance apart, and now you're gonna angle your toes outwards. So you're gonna start in your forward fold. In your forward fold, I want you to think about almost squeezing your inner thighs in to draw those hips higher up towards the ceiling. Good, take a big breath in. Good, with your big breath out, you're gonna engage your hamstrings. So think about squeezing those hamstrings to pull your butt down as low as you can. You're gonna come into a little squat, lift the chest. And good, inhale, squeeze your inner thighs, your quads, really lift the pelvis up, let the head drop. Good, exhale, engage your hamstrings, so that muscle we're trying to stretch to pull your butt down. Nice, 3 more, take an inhale, pull your hips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, squeeze, imagine pulling your butt down. So it's not gravity, it's your muscles that take you there. And 2 more, last time, lift up. So good, exhale, lower. Really good, guys, last time, take an inhale, lift. Yes, good, exhale, lower all the way down. And good, inhale, coming all the way back up. You're gonna walk your feet back forward in together. Last time we're in that forward fold, check it out, see how it feels. Nice. So coming into our really graceful transition, you're gonna come to sit on your butt. I usually just bend my knees, come all the way down. I'll meet you laying on your butt. And then you're gonna slowly roll yourself all the way down onto your back. All right, so laying onto our backs, we're coming into our last little bit of work. So we'll start with this left knee bent up. We're gonna get into that right hamstring. So you're gonna pull the right knee somewhat in towards your chest. My really flexible friends, it might be literally in towards your chest. If you know you're a little stiffer in those hamstrings, you're gonna start more at 90 degrees. I like to support the back of my thigh with my hands. If you can't quite reach, you can use a towel or something to hold on to give yourself a little bit more leverage. And then from here, what we're gonna do is you're gonna work on kicking that left leg up towards the ceiling. So you're gonna try and kick that left leg to straight, maybe flexing those toes down. Good, so you're gonna take a big breath in, really pull that leg to straight. So you're squeezing that quad, even if you can't reach the back of the leg. I want you just fighting to pull that leg to straight. Good, hold. So we're coming to a really active squeeze, active hold. You've got 5 more seconds, hold for 3, 2, 1. Good, you're gonna let the knee bend, maybe pull the knee in towards your chest. So getting that stretch down at the end of the hamstring where it meets your glute as you pull the knee in towards the chest, resetting. We're gonna come into another set of active length. So reset your knee back to that comfortable position. It might mean letting go of it. And now you're gonna squeeze the quad, the front of the thigh, pull that leg to straight. And then can you pull that knee even further in towards your chest. Good, squeeze, really active, almost driving this left heel down towards the floor. So you're really strong, everything is tense, hold on to it, 4 more seconds here for 3, 2, 1. Take a break, let that knee hug in towards your chest. And good, we're gonna do 1 more set of our active straightening. So find your position. Maybe you can bring it a little bit further in before you straighten. You're gonna pull that leg to straight, squeeze. Find tension everywhere in the body, really squeezing that quad. How straight can you get that leg? How far can you pull it in towards your chest? Breathe. Good, hold on to it here for 4. It should be a little bit shaky, a little bit quivery in this right leg. You've got it, it's 3, 2, 1. Let it go, hug that knee in towards your chest. Nice. Good, little twist side to side. And now bring that knee kind of back to that 90-degree position. And then just try actively, or not so much actively, but a little bit more gently straightening the leg up towards the ceiling. And now pulling the knee in, just noticing that little bit of extra length you might have in that hamstring. Good, awesome job. We're gonna set this up on the other side. So bring that right foot down, left leg's gonna come up towards the ceiling. Now notice we're doing this with the sole of the foot planted because that takes a little bit less twist off the pelvis. As soon as we straighten this bottom leg, it naturally, you'll feel it wants to pull the right side of the pelvis down, which creates a little bit more torque on the tendons of your hamstring. So having that foot bent up, that knee up towards the ceiling, is going to really help take that tension off of that top part of the hamstring and make it more likely for you to feel it in that muscle belly. All right, after all that little break while I explained, we're going to come into our active work. So find your knee position. So maybe 90 degrees, a little bit more flexible in towards your chest. Option to support the back of the thigh. Good, from here, right away, we're gonna kick those toes up towards the ceiling, maybe flexing them down if that feels good. So pull, main emphasis, this leg to straight, and then squeeze from the quad, the hip flexor, the core. Can you pull that knee more in towards your chest? Hold, hold, hold. Hold on to it, you've got it. That strength to create that flexibility. You've got 3, and 2, 1, awesome job. Come out of the stretch, draw the knee in towards the chest, let it go. 2 more coming your way, almost done. Slowly start to extend that left leg all the way towards the ceiling. Pull, pull, pull it to straight. Pull, pull, pull. Good. Then slowly start to draw that knee in. Draw that knee in. Hold, hold, hold. Can you get it any straighter? Can you squeeze the core down? Drive that right heel down. Create that extra tension to send extra signals down the back of the leg into that hamstring. You're here for 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Knee in towards your chest. Okay, ready? Last time. We're almost done, I promise. Start to extend that left leg up towards the ceiling. Now squeeze, 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 squeeze. Pull that leg to straight, pull it to straight, pull it to straight. Maybe driving it in either with your hip flexor or using your hands to help pull that knee in towards your chest. Hold, hold, hold. Your biggest hamstring stretch yet. You're here for 3. Drive the heel down for 2. And for 1, let it go. All right, coming into a little bit more of your gentle hamstring stretch, maybe supporting the back of the thigh. Leg to straight, just noticing how that hamstring feels. Good, awesome job, you guys. Hug those knees up in towards the chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. All right, so that was 20 minutes of movement into your hamstrings, the back of the legs. So maybe a little bit different than your normal traditional hamstring stretching. So you'll notice that we didn't really do any sitting on our butt, reaching for our toes. And kind of our reason for doing that, you guys, in case you were wondering, is when was the last time you saw an athlete in the middle of the game reach for their toes sitting on their ass? Usually when we're working through that hamstring flexibility, when we're trying to prevent injuries, it's in a standing position, is against gravity. So that's why most of our mobility was working against gravity. So you're creating stability and strength as well as flexibility. If you guys have any questions, you can comment down below or shoot me a message, and I will see you guys in the next video.